Okay, we're here with the live production of After the Walk, which is a play that's been really developed in order to give a positive relationship of understanding just what it is like in terms of the ministry and those individuals that really stand for it in relationship of bringing the Word of God to true and existence. We're here at Andre Davis.
Yes.
A real child of the community.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and
absolutely.
It's really a pleasure to see that this particular production decided to build that kind of a relationship with individuals that have been providing a positive image in our community. You played a part of the pastor in this relationship. What I began to recognize was that your character was really one that promoted the reality that you can be sincere about your relationship with God and still maintain a disposition of knowing that you need help as well.
Right. Absolutely, absolutely. The play, and I have to give, first honor to God, but Dr. Kenneth Hamilton, who wrote the play, did an excellent job of constructing the storyline. So it was really fairly easy. And then when Bishop Hilliard came out, he added that touch, just to show how younger pastors also need to be schooled. Because a lot of times they do think that, they may know a lot, but it takes a seasoned saint to let them know. So it was great. It was great.
Now tell me exactly, how did you really work to get yourself into character?
Really just by going to church. I always go to church. I attend Morning Star Community Christian Center out in Linden, New Jersey, where Dr. Evans is my pastor.
Okay. And looking at it from the perspective of how it was able to give an authentic characteristic of how a man can be able to be persuaded, especially when it comes to the relationship of a good-looking woman. What do you think that it will do in terms of making sure that the message is brought across clearly?
Wow, that's actually a great question. Well, I think that the play demonstrates that, although even me as the pastor, initially in that first scene when I came in contact with Robin, your flesh is there. So it's not that you don't see what it is, but you have to know and have that God within you to sustain and, hold back from going beyond that point.
Now, looking at it in relationship to the progress of how you are able to manifest your character in this particular production, how far do you think it's going to go?
Wow, the sky's the limit. I've learned a long time ago never to put a box around God, and this play is absolutely anointed. God has had his hand in it from the beginning, and, the sky's the limit. All things are possible through Christ, and I believe that.
And how about your career as an artist, as a singer? You're a single,
Yes.
Is really out and being promulgated throughout the community. How do you think it's going to help with your career?
Well, absolutely it's helping. It's exposing me, of course, to more and more people. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people through some of the acts that I've opened up before, so this is just another avenue. But absolutely, the same thing. I believe the same thing, that with Christ all things are possible. I believe that my walk in this entertainment business is ordained, and I will not put a box on God. So the sky's the limit for me as well.
Well, you did a solid job. Really good to see you, man. I watch you grow up. You're doing well.
Yes,
man. Thank you very much. All righty.
All right.
Great. Okay, we're here now with Dr. Mr. Hamilton. Let me tell you something. I'm very impressed with just the idea of you being able to bring forth a message that not only was entertaining, but also educating. Was that pretty much the way in which you wanted this production to develop?
I wanted to tell a story that was respectful to the Black church experience, and a story that would inspire people and help them overcome whatever obstacles they have as it relates to relationships and infidelity, and even as they have their own struggles with developing their own faith with Christ. And I hope we were able to do that in a way that brought dignity to the stage and maintained the integrity of the Black church experience.
Well, you did a wonderful job in crafting even the characters. Many of them are probably brand new to an opportunity to be able to use their skills in this way. The production itself authenticated a lot of real, honest talent, to say the least, and it really proved that we can be able to pull that kind of opportunity out of our community.
Yes, I wanted to make sure that we were also creating opportunities for people. So while we had some well-established and very well-known talent in the production, I also wanted to create opportunities for people who were aspiring actors and actresses and develop an arena for them to express and expose their gifts as well.
Now, Pastor Hilliard is a partner in this production. How was that relationship? How did it manifest?
Bishop Hilliard and I have worked on a couple of projects together. And so when I went to him with this idea, I told him, I said, I really want you to partner with me because I believe it's a story that should be told. And because of the nature of our relationship, our friendship and our relationship, my relationship with him as my pastor, he was more than willing to put his name in the project and be a part of the cast as well. And we've been working very closely with this production.
Well, I see as a stand-up guy, he's part of the production, and you even got him to be a character in it. Is it really good to see someone that has his kind of personality in the community come and be part of the reality of how you want it to manifest the production?
I think it's absolutely essential that we recognize that our church leaders are multifaceted and are gifted in many different areas. So it's not just their ability to lead and pastor churches, but to also, Bishop is also a well-established artist, for example. So it's important that we create opportunities for them as well to see their other talents.
Well, listen, man, I know you got to get ready for the next production.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be looking forward to working with you and helping promote it because I know you're going to be traveling around.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Right, we're here with Leah Hilliard, and you were the bad girl.
I was. Well,
You know?
I know who the bad girl is.
Yeah.
And from years ago, we have a history, and she has a history. And I'm actually a very hurt pastor's daughter who's trying to find her way, who's gone through a lot, and who's very misunderstood, which is very interesting. Although I'm not a hurt pastor's daughter, I am very misunderstood, as a lot of pastors' daughters are. So it's interesting that I was granted this part in the play.
And now, you are Bishop Hilliard's daughter?
I am his firstborn.
Now, you know, it's like phenomenal in regard to how the concept really manifested into many things that were unique in terms of ministry and the opportunity of talking about the relationship of forgiveness. Your character itself showed a relationship of family and the disconnection that you had with your dad, and that you were able to build the foundation of it after learning that there are many ways in which you can develop a forgiveness. How do you think your character builds that kind of confidence in young people so that they can identify with that kind of issue and be able to overcome the obstacle?
I think when it comes to forgiveness and when it comes to forgiveness and forgiving family, you have to recognize what really matters. And what I try to tell my kids that I mentor, that I speak with, is that in the grand scheme of things, your family is all that you have. And I try not to be biblical, but when I have to be biblical, I have to be. And if Christ can forgive people who were spitting in his face, stripping him of his skin, stripping him from his hair follicles, and still ask God to forgive them, who am I to be upset with you for anything that you've done to me? So that's in a nutshell. Now,
was this a career that you were really working towards being able to be a part of as you were preparing yourself, for profession?
Being an actress? Yes, it is a career that I would love to be able to have as a lucrative career. Right now, it is a passion that I am still striving to make a lucrative career.
Well,
yes.
You did an outstanding job. I mean, the production is very, very grabbing, and I just, I saw it twice. And in my second opportunity, knowing the characters, I began to recognize the skill and the talent of each individual that was playing a part. And I think, Dr. Hamilton did a phenomenal job of placing people where they really belong.
I think so, too. He does. That's quite a talent, the casting, not just writing it. And because you wrote it, you know what you're trying, who and how is going to best fit with these characters. And the great thing about After the Walk as well as Before the Walk, we're like a family cast. Some of us have been in Before the Walk, and some of us are new to the debut family. So it just works because a lot of us have relationship with one another. You can feel that vibe on stage. We're like brothers and sisters with each other. So it's great.
Yeah, you really do see the chemistry. It was a great production. I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
Thank you. Likewise.
All right, we're here now with Kelly Downing, who plays the part of the pastor's wife, and Boy, oh boy, oh boy, did they do a good job at that. Did you enjoy that part?
Yes, it was absolutely awesome. Being a younger person, that was a good role for me. Being a new pastor's wife on the scene, I enjoyed it totally.
Now look at it. Do you get a different kind of attitude of relationship when it comes to someone who has to hold that type of relationship in their personality so that others can be able to reflect upon it where they can respect it?
Well, I totally give any pastor's wife a lot of credit because I know it takes a lot to maintain your poise and actually keep yourself. So I just kind of showed the other side of which some of them may feel from time to time that they don't exactly express all the time, because of the different situations or whatever that they may be in. So.
Looking at it when the whole concept of relationship and, even being honest enough to share the fact that there was very little, sensuality in it, based upon a number of different relationships that we know may occur between a pastor and his wife, did it seem to be real?
Well, it could have been real. I'd say more behind closed doors. Yeah, that could be how it is. But of course, we got to show different sides, and that's what I was doing, pretty much showing the other side, because pretty much everyone sees the other side, which is the more calm and, warm side. So.
Well, you aced it well. And honestly, you guys are doing a phenomenal job in being able to bring out the message. It's a canvas, that you're really promoting in terms of how ministry can be reflective on the lifestyles of people. And I think the whole message of forgiveness was really brought about very well.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's what it's all about. How can you expect to be forgiven if you can't forgive someone else? That's what it's all about.
And let me tell you, it was a great job, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All righty. We're here now with Jana Hills, and Jana, it's really a pleasure to be able to talk to you, being one of the primary focuses of the whole production in relationship to being a perennial bad girl.
Yes.
And just how do you metamorphosize yourself? Because I know that you have a different kind of attitude in your lifestyle, just by the way you personified the role. But it was so authentic, and looking at it from the perspective of knowing just how important it was to bring across that message of forgiveness. How did you really get yourself into character?
Well, as you said, everyone knows that I'm the complete opposite of that character, but I had to really get into the script and really embrace the words and the entire theme that the director was trying to put forth, and being able to set myself in a position where, you have this woman who was burned. She, went through some issues with her husband, mainly because he cheated with another woman, and she just felt so much rage and so much revenge at other people. And it was important for me to embrace that character. I believe that there are some women out there who go through these types of situations and then they lose themselves. So I wanted to be able to fit into that role and become that woman who is out there now, feeling this way, and show that, instead of bottling up all of this rage and revenge, there is another way out.
But I mean, just being sultry and seductive and being really, I tell you, I was ready to just give up my livelihood because it was just so good. And, just thinking about the idea of how individuals can become resentful and even look towards a way of revenge, that it really can manifest into a problem in our lifestyle.
Right. I totally agree. I mean, we see it all around us. We see it with not only relationships, but with green, with money and so forth. And I believe that it's nothing but, the devil working within individuals, and it gets passed on from person to person. And it takes so much to try to break that spirit. That spirit of hatred, that spirit of unforgiveness. And I feel that this play is a powerful production to show that you can get to a point where you can let these things go in terms of, the rage and revenge. There is a road to forgiveness for us all, and that's number one is God.
Well, you did an awesome job, and I'm really happy about the fact that, you have your head on. And know exactly what you're going to be as an image maker in terms of it being that kind of classic that kind of classic characterization of quality that really made the production as professionally developed as it is. And I really want to let you know I appreciate what you did.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All righty. All right, we're here with Everton Bailey.
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Bailey was the salon owner. And, classically enough, I would think that your personality was the one that really authenticated the facts.
Right, thank you. Yes, Smitty, they wanted Smitty to be a Jamaican character. And my family's from Jamaica. I grew up around that accent, so it really wasn't a problem.
Okay.
Slipping at a thing, you know?
Well, the idea of, putting together our heritage and the roots of knowing that, we can be able to build the kind of confidence in making people understand that we are a united nation.
Oh, yes.
And identifying it in the way and it can have a character of truth.
That's right.
Because what I'm really trying to focus on is the fact that you were the real honest person in the entire production.
Wow, I'm glad you picked that up. That's interesting. That's an interesting insight.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
yes.
it really made the whole energy behind the production stay together.
That's good. That's good. And it's sometimes good to hear that from the other side because, you're doing it from the character's perspective. And sometimes it's good to hear from what the audience picks up from that. So, yes, that's a very good insight.
Yeah. So looking at it, how does it really give that kind of inspiration so that people can understand what the reality behind knowing that it's not about snitching?
Right. It's about just knowing your community. Obviously, Smitty is a big part of that community. I noticed that with the character. So I tried to show how Smitty, not that he knew everybody's business, but he was able to get a good balance on what was going on in the community and what their reason for was coming to Smitty's. There was a reason, not that any place was wrong. They had alcohol there, but not everybody was coming there to drink alcohol. People were coming there because of the community aspect. As he said, he's providing a social service for the community.
Exactly. And that was so clear, and that the whole reality behind it is that anyone can be involved in it, as long as you conduct yourself in a positive way. And there was a certain part in it, whereas one of the characters that had come back, which was your cousin, wanted a drink, and you told him, I think you better start with a ginger ale.
Right. See? Yes, Smitty's in control, right?
Absolutely. Well, it was great inspiration, great opportunity to be able to share with others to know exactly how important your character was. And we thank you very much for coming over and having a conversation with us.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll see you again.
Yes, you will.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Another one of the strong characters in the play After the Walk was Ms. Dell Harrison. You played the part of
the waitress.
And, being someone who is supposed to have been in the background, you kind of was able to bring your character to a reality.
Oh, yeah. It's a great character. I really enjoyed it. I actually host Ken's comedy shows. And I looked on, Ken is the director, I'm sure you guys know, and I looked on the website and just looking to see when the next comedy show would be. And I saw that they had a play, and so I was like, I would like to audition, I sent in my stuff to whatever email address they had. And then Quinn, Ken's assistant, she emailed me back and was like, hey, you can come in for an audition. And when I talked to them again, they was like, they think you'd be great for the part of the waitress. But she actually doesn't have any lines, but you can write your lines in. So I wrote my lines in where I thought it was fit. A lot of that was...
well, it kind of really brought you for who you are as a comedian out as well. And it brought flavor.
Yes, and I loved it. And it was just a great experience. The cast is so great. Ken, Jamie, Quinn, Kimberly, they put forth such great energy. And so the cast is surrounded by this great energy, and we all have good chemistry. So everybody's doing something funny. If you got a chance to see the play, then it's just not the typical, gospel play where it's just, it's just like you're on this sad roller coaster, the Tyler Perry dropping kids out the window. And, it's inspirational, funny, unique, diverse, and
well, again, there are always a representation of the kinds of messages that have to be brought out in drama.
Yeah.
And, looking at it from the aspects of what the focus was in this play, talking about forgiveness, but understanding, that there are relationships that really need a little jolt every now and then.
Yes, and the thing is, too, is if you are not going to be able to make life funny, then life is about to be very hard for you. And that's why I really enjoy this one, is because while there is a serious issue, infidelity, learning how to forgive, a pastor putting his wife first, those are very serious issues. It's people still have to live in the everyday world, and this is how they handle the everyday world. And most characters were lighthearted. They were having some issues, but they were still able to like laugh with each other in a different scene. And that's what I really like, because I'm like a person that likes to be uplifted. And of course, the talent, Valerie Adams, who is just amazing on singing, Kelly Price, you know. I mean, everybody was just, I mean, there were some very magnificent voices in here, and I think that's what helps. It's like you laugh, you're inspired, you're brought to tears, a song moves you, and then you're home, you know, so I loved it.
When it comes to ministry and looking at it from the aspects of what was the concern in regard to bringing out a message that gave people inspiration of faith, do you really think you guys hit the note?
Absolutely, because you know what? When it comes to faith, like you know, that's why God said you only have to have a mustard seed, you know, because you only need like this little bit, and most of the situations that put us through trials, you only have a little bit through that situation. You know, it's like when things are going good, you're like, oh, I know I'm gonna get this job. Oh, I know I'm gonna do, you know, but it's when you put to the test, that is that little bitty seed going to still be in you and still resonate. And I think with this, it's just like, you know, I couldn't imagine me, myself, I'm a married woman, being tested with infidelity, but just seeing, just being in the play and hearing the message of forgiveness, I'm already like, you know, I'm already moved to like, hey, you know what? I better learn to forgive myself for things so that I can let them go, so that I'm moving out in my life and forgiving other people. Because, you know, when you're trying to get like in the arts, in period, when you're trying to do things to advance yourself, you know, you are humbled by people who will, you know, say mean things, you know, just people you don't even know out on the streets. You know, I just bumped by a guy the other day, and then, you know, yesterday I was tested, and, you know, and last night I'm getting home, and it's so stressful. And I came here today, and I was just like, I was feeling so bad, you know. And Valerie, she just came by me, and she hugged me, because I'm sure she could feel my vibe, and she was like, "There's no weapon formed against us that will prosper. They haven't made it, not a 45, and she named all the guns. And it just really uplifted me, because I was feeling so bad before I was going on, and I didn't want to carry that energy to the cast. But you know, you need the upliftment, and God knows what you need, and He'll bring it to you. And through a little bit of so much of her grabbing my arm and us right before curtain call, I mean, as soon as she said that, the lights went on and the first scene started. And that's how faith, I think that me being in the play gives us faith, you know, and just even, you know, just able to put this on Newark Symphony Hall, the place is packed. I mean, so many things in your life will give you faith. So I know that by us experiencing so much faith and so much success with our faith in this trial, and putting this production together, that I know we delivered that message to the people out there, you know?
That was awesome.
Yeah.
No doubt you were a phenomenal character. So as minute as it may have seemed, you were kind of like the part of the spice that made it taste so good.
Thank you so I like that. Thank you so much. All right. Have a good day. Okay.
All right, we're here now with Kimberly Rowland. And Kim, it's great to see how everything has manifested, especially in terms of it being the type of production that is resonating a true relationship with the message that you all wanted to bring out.
Yes.
As a grassroots organizer, in terms of building it from the ground up, does it really meet the test in regard to bringing out the type of message that ministry is more important?
Yes, it should meet the test. Actually, I believe that it does meet the test. It's just amazing. Again, we have an amazing cast. We have an amazing director and writer. The message is prominent. It's a message of forgiveness. It's a message of letting everyone know that everyone from the minister on down to your regular folk have issues, and we need to learn to forgive. So it's a message that I think is deeply rooted into the community. We need to start on that level. So yes, I
thought that it was really impressive to see the pastor, to see the bishop, and, you know, it's Bishop Hilliard, because, you know, and it magnifies itself. But most of the individuals who are involved with the mega churches really have a difficult time trying to level with the opportunity to be able to produce the ministry from that type of a canvas. Is it really helpful to have someone with that kind of authority involved in your production?
I think that it's helpful because of the message that he believes, the message that he preached, Bishop Hilliard. It's a message that we all have together. So it's beneficial, it helps, yes. But again, everybody's amazing. We all have the same message in mind, so we're kind of all walking the same walk. And so it makes it a lot easier for someone such as the bishop to participate in something of that magnitude because it's something that he believes in himself. He preaches forgiveness. So something on this lines, especially with the play that Dr. Hamilton has written, I think is beneficial for the community as a whole. So
having a marquee entertainer like Kelly Price, on the headliner, was really good, but what authenticated was the caliber of individuals that were working. It complemented the whole aspects of making sure that it was much more than just a star performer.
Well, I got to tell you something. Each and every one of those artists that you saw on the stage today are all stars. They practice their craft. They believe in their craft. They believe in the message that the producer, myself, and all of the other production staff is trying to put together. So it's a lot easier for the actors to fall into sync with their roles when they believe in the message. So yes, we love Kelly, but all of the actors, everyone that was on stage that you saw today were amazing, and they're all stars in their own right. So,
well, it really looks good, and knowing that you're pursuing your doctorate in terms of really producing these kinds of opportunities for people to be able to engage and get involved in understanding how they can become a part of the society that really needs to have these kinds of opportunities. I really am happy that you brought me in and made me a part of it.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We're glad to have you here, and you make a difference within the community. So we wanted someone like you here on the scene to represent us. We believe in what you believe in, and we're glad that you believe in what we believe in. So thank you so much again for coming.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. All righty, great.